When you wake up on Sunday morning, we want you to wake up and be realistic about what is lying ahead. Going to church does come with risk. It always does. In fact, when we go to church, there's always the potential of catching germs, colds, flus, and other ailments that are passed person to person. And church is an environment where we gather, we do come together, and so it is a place where there is risk involved. And so we want you, when you wake up on Sunday morning, to be thoughtful and careful and to weigh up the risk that would be involved in you going to church. Remember the government advice. There are certain groups of people that should be more cautious about engaging fully in that type of a setting. The government has said those who are over 70, or those who have been advised to self-isolate or to shield, or indeed, especially those who are experiencing or recovering from COVID-19 symptoms, which include a cough, high temperature, could involve a loss of or a change in your normal sense of smell or taste. Those symptoms, if you have been or are suffering from any of those, and you are advised strongly to stay away to protect yourself, but also to protect their fellow believers at Emmanuel Baptist Church. Additionally, some of you may be looking after other relatives who themselves are vulnerable and may need to be very conscious that the risk that is involved is not just a risk for you, but a risk to them too. And so we want it to be clear, we do not expect everybody to come to church on Sunday. Indeed, we expect a number of you will need to make a thoughtful and a wise decision to stay at home to protect yourself or to protect other members of your family. Indeed, with that in mind, we as a church are going to be live streaming any services that will take place in the building, not just the audio but the video as well, so that even though you are at home, you can be as involved as possible while isolated and safe in your home environment. Also, for those who have weighed up the risk and are still determined to come, we want you to understand that the measures that we as a church have taken and are seeking to put in place to ensure the safety of all who will arrive will mean that you will need to leave extra time to park and get into the church, and there will be extra planning involved as well to make sure you are ready for all that will come.
Oh, quick, church shout, Ian, Isla, come on Izzy, come on Izzy. Time to go. Oh, you got your jammies on, go back to your mum.
Before you leave your house on Sunday morning, please make sure to use your toilet facilities, as the use of these at the church will be minimal. If you have children, there will be no creche or children's church available for them. So pack any snacks or books, colouring books, etc. that you may find helpful to look after your children during the service. Additionally, look outside and check the weather to see whether it may be advisable to bring a coat for you and your family. There is likely to be lines as we carefully, with social distancing, take time to enter the building, and so we want you to be prepared in case it is wet. Additionally, within the building, all windows and doors will be left open to encourage as much ventilation as possible within the building. With this in mind, on a cooler day, you may want to dress appropriately. When you arrive at the church, please be aware it will look different from what you're used to. Signs, hand sanitizer stations, and social distancing measures will be in place. We will still have our friendly stewards there to greet you and to help you navigate the new processes that have been established, but be aware it will look very different. Masks will not be supplied by the church, but individuals who wish to wear a face mask are encouraged to do so. Indeed, the government advice has said, quote, "Face coverings may help prevent the transmission of COVID-19 to others. The use of face coverings are strongly recommended in indoor settings, and we recommend that this is adopted in places of worship as a good principle. Therefore, if you feel comfortable and even want to serve others by wearing a face mask, we want to encourage you to do so. It will not be required, as some may have other reasons why they feel uncomfortable with it, or claustrophobic, or indeed they themselves have restricted breathing. But at the same time, please bear in mind that government advice. And if you wish to use a face mask, come prepared yourself, and take home with you the face mask to dispose of or to wash accordingly. The safest place to talk is the open air, and so as you get out of your car in the car park, that is the best place to speak with one another. But please be aware that there will be ones who arrive at the church who are more nervous and more vulnerable than others, and so throughout, please respect 2-meter distancing from the moment you exit your car to the moment you get back in to head home. If you have children with you, please be reminded that they are to stay with their parents throughout their time on the church premises. Please be aware that no handshakes, hugs, or holy kisses are to occur among those who are attending, though we know you all love each other very much. To make as best use of the building as possible and to encourage social distancing throughout, different zones have been established within the building for the purpose of family units to sit with one another. There will be stewards in each of these sections that will be able to show you as you arrive where enough seats are together for your family unit. Please be patient with our stewards. I know this will take time as they try and help you to be able to sit together in a safe way. Initially, our service is going to be intentionally shorter than normal. We will have a few prayers, devotional thought, and celebrate communion together. The whole thing is hoped to last about 45 minutes. And remember, if you are unable to attend, it will all be live streamed so that you can participate in the experience as much as possible. At this particular stage of the reopening, there will be no singing that will occur within the building until we can be sure that it is safe to do so. Communion will look different. A table will be laid out at the entrance, and individual cups that are pre-sealed and put together will be spread out on that table. For those wishing to take part in eating the bread and drinking the cup, they will be able to take from the table a cup for themselves before entering the building. That way, only you will be touching the particular cup that you are going to use. These will be laid out by stewards who wearing gloves beforehand to minimize as much contact as possible. The individual cups themselves are double sealed. The first layer can be peeled back to reveal the wafer-like bread that can be eaten. And then a second foil layer can also be pulled back so that the individual will be able to drink the contents. As you can see, both are ensuring that no contact is taken place by others, but you will be able to manage it yourself in the context of the service when called upon to do so. When the service ends, stewards will help us to exit the building. A one-way system has been established, and so there will be a particular door that you will be asked to leave through. Additionally, to make it as safe as possible, people will be asked to leave in a staggered manner. Please be patient with our stewards as they seek to help us navigate what is a very difficult and complicated circumstance. We hope that throughout the process, it will allow us all to worship God with our heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to be kind to our neighbour as ourselves. For those who are unable to attend, again remember, your choice is a wise one, and we both respect it and we love you, and we want you to be able to participate in the live stream. We want you to be able to be aware that should you need anything, we are only a phone call away.